Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about when is the right time to hire your first employee. Specifically, we're targeting the lawn and landscape business today, and when we're touching on several different aspects, the expectations you should have, when to hire, when not to hire, and we're going to be crushing some of your false beliefs that I found that many of you have. Okay, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Isaac Burak with 2B Green Consulting. And my purpose here today is to help lawn and landscape businesses, and specifically lawn business startups. So let's get started. First, let's talk about your expectations that you should have and some false expectations that you should not have. First, I'm assuming that you are an owner operator, you are the only person in charge of your business, you don't have any other employees at this time, and you are asking yourself, when should I hire? Who should be the first person that I hire? Okay? So, the first person that you hire should not be administration, should not be an assistant, should not be a bookkeeper, nothing like that. Your first employee needs to be a helper. This helper is going to help you out in the field with you. They're not going to take over the field for you. You're still going to be working hand in hand with them and eventually showing them how to run your business. You're not trying to hire somebody that is ready to jump in and take over your business, because that's not what you want, okay? And when you're interviewing and when you're looking for your employee, first you need to know your goal employee, and you need to visualize the specific task that you want them to take care of for you. Not only does this get rid of a bunch of applicants that you can quickly cite through, but also this makes your offer much easier to convey to this possible employee, because that's what you're really doing. You're offering a job with specific terms and everything. So this means that when you are incorporating this employee into your job, into your business with a specific task at hand, you are not including him in on your vision. You as the company owner, you have a vision of where you want to take the company to in a couple of years, what values you want to run your company with, and all of the sort. That is not for this employee yet. You are not hiring him with the goal of quickly incorporating him into your vision. He just met you. He doesn't want to do that either, and he shouldn't have to do that. So even though that we are hiring him for a specific task that we've outlined both alone and with him, we still want to paint the opportunity of the future, a bigger position that he could hold if he works out. Because let's be honest, we both want him to level up and eventually hold a higher position where you don't have to be right with him and making sure he upholds your best desire. Next, I'm going to describe this further later in this video, but keep this in mind. You never want to hire when you're desperate. When you need him and you're desperate, you're not going to find him. This means that once you've outlined, and I'll discuss this further as well, once you've figured out that it's time for me to start hiring, that's when you need to be on the lookout and start searching for your goal employee. And just for reference, you should find your first employee via word of mouth. Not via marketing, you can do a Facebook ad or two, but that's about it. You don't want to go any further. You should look within your inner circle for your first employee, because you're starting them at a base level and you're basically hiring on personality. Okay, now let's talk about when to hire. Let's be honest. If we could hire 20 employees right off the bat in the start of our business, 20 great employees, we would. But the reason why we're not is because we can't afford it and we don't have designated jobs that all 20 of those employees can handle. So, when you need to hire is when you feel that A, you can afford it, and B, you are spread too thin. You are limiting yourself and your business by not expanding further in the aims of an employee, okay? Now, spread too thin can mean several different things. As the owner-operator, you're obviously going to hold many different responsibilities. Administration, labor, organization, calling clients, estimates, all of the above. And when you feel that By you working on all these different areas, you're actually limiting yourself. That is the time to hire. Not when you're actually sabotaging your business and holding yourself from going further. That's when you've gone too far. When you feel that, and everybody feels this, when your best time, your best focus is not spent where it needs to be, that's when you need to start searching for your first employee. When you've organized out the specific job that you want this person to take care of, a factor that you need to include is whether their position or not is going to earn you money. You are costing yourself in hiring an employee. That's how it works. And that employee to be hired by you needs to bring in revenue. At the start, this should be very easy. You're going to hire him to help with you. He's going to be working with you. You're going to be able to take more jobs. In order to hire successfully, you need to know your numbers. You need to. You need to know if you're making enough profit on every job to be able to account for a new labor cost. You need to know that you have the job demand to account for the new labor cost. You need to know all these numbers. I can't tell you what you're going to need, if you need this percentage. It all depends on your market and your business. So that's what can make the difference between a crappy hire or a successful hire. Now let's talk about when not to hire. As I mentioned before, and when to hire, it's when you are on that edge of where you working alone is keeping you from moving forward. That's the time to hire. The time not to hire is from a point of laziness, when you're tired of working in the field and you're tired of doing the bookkeeping, but you really need to. That's a time that hiring is not the best bet, and you need to reconstruct your business and your models. Furthermore, a time not to hire, as I mentioned above, was from a point of desperation. We're all afraid of making the wrong hire choice, and we all will from one point or another. But when you are desperate and you say, he'll work for the job tomorrow, he'll work for this week, if I don't need him, I'll get rid of him, whatever. That's when you're going to make the mistake. That's when hiring is going to cost you. That's what's going to keep you and not want to hire in the future, when you are desperate. You need to plan this out accordingly. Think ahead. Okay, right now I should start hiring. Now that time is when you need to start hiring. And from a point of, if I don't find a hire, if I don't find an employee, it's okay. I have not outgrown my business of where it can survive. Now I'm going to discuss the fears and limiting beliefs that I've seen in former business owners. The fear of hiring in general. The fear of making a mistake. We all make hiring mistakes. That's not a reason to step out and say, I'm never going to hire anybody. We need to hire people. We need to hire people in order to grow to where we want to be. Okay? And we're all going to make a hiring mistake. We are. And that's the reason why we're hiring somebody at a lower level. We're hiring somebody at a specific job. Our expectations aren't up here and they're delivering down here. No, our expectations are in line with what he can provide and what he knows that he has to provide. Furthermore, we're starting him out on an hourly pay. If we need to get rid of him, we can get rid of him quickly. It's not a problem. Next, what if he loses me money? We are not putting him in a position where he can take his own truck, take his own route, everything. No, he's working hand in hand with you, and you're going to be right there making sure that he can handle every new responsibility that you are giving him. What if he hurts my reputation? The only instance where somebody's going to ruin your reputation is when you are desperate, you're giving him too much responsibility too fast, and he costs you in the long run. This is why we hire based on personality. We can ensure that our expectations are in line with what they can produce, but they are teachable to become part of our vision and level up in our company. Hiring from a point of desperation is really just a patch. Hiring when we are overgrown from our business is just a patch for the immediate solution. We're not looking for that. We're looking for a full-time employee who can level up in our business and take responsibility off of our hands. Again, not from being lazy, but from building a team and leveling up our business. When you are going to start hiring, you have grown your business to a point where you can afford somebody new to hire. Again, if we could afford from the start to hire, we would have, but we can't. So now that we've reached a point where we can hire, Now we can delegate to somebody and give that responsibility to them. We master the topic, and now we can teach it to somebody to further build our company. That's the all-time goal, to give responsibilities that do not push your company forward to somebody else, and now allow you, the business owner, to move your company forward. If you are a lawn or landscape business owner who's starting out and this video helped you, I have many more for you. I have a lot of tactics that I can give you, and I want you to book a call with me in the link in the description. There, you and I together are going to figure out exactly what's holding you up and personalize a plan for you. We're going to figure out exactly how you can figure out a route and plan it accordingly. Exactly how you can interact with your clients, how you can personalize the hiring strategy to you, and take a look at your finances and develop a plan that sets you up to build your business up to crazy revenues per month. This is Isaac. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, the like, and comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.